Hi engineers, welcome back to today's episode. So some days ago I received a request to create a rib structure on the outside of a high pressure vessel. And I was thinking a little bit and I found a pretty nice approach and I created this workflow, and today I will make a little walkthrough through this workflow to explain how this was created. So for doing so, as always, I need to share my screen. Here we go. And let me give you some context to the workflow. So we have this vessel. I just created this tube to represent it a little bit. But the principle of the workflow will stay the same, even if the shape is different. And the idea is to have pretty good distribution of these stresses after the simulation. So the ribs should support the whole vessel to reduce the stresses on one side or on one hand, but also have a better stress distribution. Okay, so you can see below the one without the ribs and up there the one with the ribs. And now we will do a little walkthrough. So the first thing we do, we have our two inputs, creating the ellipse to have our tube. Okay, so pretty straightforward. And then the next thing, we create a simulation model. So we have done this several times. If you don't know how to do it, check out my other videos. So we create a shell mesh. We apply boundary conditions, we run a simulation, and then for sure we can also visualize this result. Okay, the next step, this is the one which gets interesting, because what we are doing here, we are defining a point field based on our first simulation result. And with this point field, or we create two different point fields. So one point field for the density of the ribs, and the second point field for the height of the ribs. So how are we doing this? Pretty easy. We just evaluate the stresses in every element. And then we create this point field. So using this point field nodes. And in the next step, with that we can create a ribs. So first, we just create a point distribution. So let me visualize also the geometry. And you can already see, if you remember, in this area there was a high stress load, in this area there was a high stress load, and with this point distribution in combination with our point field, we are getting more points in these areas. All right, let me quickly hide this again. And with that, we can then build our Voronoi, and with that, we get already more or less our rib structure. And what we have to do now is just using our second point field and moving up the points to create our rib surface. This takes a second for visualization. So you can see we created these ribs. And the last step, I just did for visualization to compare the results. We create a simulation model again, run the simulation, and then we can visualize the result. The last thing I did here, I published all this on the server. So just clicked on publish this to the Synero Run server. Already did this, and this nice interface is created. And now we can run, for example, a different combination of the inputs. Just click on run. The computation takes something around a minute, and after a minute we will see the result. So let's do a quick cut here, and I will be back in 20-30 seconds. So perfect. The result or the simulation was done, and we can see, okay, our distribution of the stresses is pretty nice. Also, the max stress value is much more reduced compared to the initial one. And the nice thing is now we can download the whole geometry and just import it to our CAD model or to our CAD system and use it there. Also, in our case, I just created the sliders here. We could also import as a geometry, for example, this surface and start directly with that. Okay, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it again. And if you want to try out this workflow in Scenario Run, just leave a comment and I will share the link with you to the Scenario Run interface and you can try it out. Okay, see you.